Now, this separation of knowledge from skills, I don't know where it started from. Because like in Mbara High School, we had two streams. And the junior secondary 1, junior secondary 2, junior secondary 3 were for the bagezi, the clever children, the ones who could memorize. Cleverness meant memorizing and being able to be smart to answer questions in a very short time. Because you may memorize but not be well organized to answer within 45 minutes. Thank you for briefing me. Now, the other side of my line of emphasizing science is of course, I think correct, but it should be not just science, but as part of the way of life for the whole society, not just, yes, you can have people who deepen knowledge, but everybody should, as you say, by age 16, everybody should be able to be useful. They can have their music, they can have their specialization, but they have at least a minimum of usefulness.
We propose that this country develops a philosophy. And beyond that, we think that the entire curriculum, from the time you start schooling to the time you finish, must be competence-based. Right now, Your Excellence, it is truncated. It is competence-based now in secondary, up from senior 1 to senior 4. It is not competence-based from senior 5 to senior 6. It is not competence-based in university. It is knowledge-based. When you come to the primary section, it is thematic from P1 to P4. It is subject from P5 to P7. I was particularly intrigued, Your Excellence, with the issue of school feeding.
Oh.
School feeding.
Yes.
School feeding is happening in schools using different methods. But the majority of the schools we went to, kids don't eat. During lunch, some of them take water, some of them play around, but there's something common. Money is being collected for school feeding. Those who collect eat. Those who don't collect, they were telling us that they eat air. That is the economic case I would like to present to you, Excellency. That if we put 1 trillion in school feeding, I can assure you of more than 3.5 in return on the other side.
The difference in pay between the science and the arts. They appreciate science teachers can be paid more, but not the margin. Now, what brings the other problem in administration, you get a head teacher, he says, I was here with my science teacher here and my other. Now, this teacher of mine, he gets 4 million, and me, I get 800,000 or whatever. And it's like, who are you? In other words, the science teachers no longer recognize the boss. There is that feeling that the higher you are in rank within the same establishment, the highest is supposed to have better facilities. Now then, last, though there are many, is the quality of education that we are talking about. The policy is both public schools and private schools. But the regulation and the enforcement needs to be highly strengthened. Because what happens is, and that ties in with what Nuwe Amanya was saying, where we are recommending both academic and skilling to go together up to the age of 16, so that when you leave, you are able to do something. Because if we mass produce, but the product at the end, at whatever stage, is not productive in society, it becomes a political problem. But you start with what we are talking about, UPE, that somebody's child leaves when he or she is 12 because of not qualifying, because of 4 subjects, and is abandoned society. What does that person do as that person grows? But if that basic education goes with quality education that mixes both academic and skilling and goes all the way at the age of 16, because that's where USE stops. Government cannot say we are providing free education at primary, we are also providing free education at secondary, and then when I reach primary, you deny me that government benefit. Because you as government, you have already told me, I'm giving you free education up to senior 4. But by the time I reach P7, it says, no, you can't benefit from that free education because you did not qualify in 4 subjects.
Traits like discipline, the character, teamwork, the way you behave in society, these are part of the abilities, and they are given in the curriculum, usually through a number of activities. You love your country, you care for your environment, you look after nature. All these abilities and tasks that are basic should be defined in the national competence profile, so that a universal basic education graduate is really properly defined, and when the teacher is mentoring this child in any school, whether private or government, they refer to this profile. There are bits and pieces that need to be harmonized so that this national competence profile is there, and we can refer to it and we can measure our growth as the child grows.